welcome back to a new YouTube video, and today I asked my Instagram followers to give me some questions because I'm going to do a tack clean Q&A. So I've got all my tack here ready to clean. There's a lot of it, so we might be here for a while, but yeah, let's get into this video. So I'm gonna get the big thing done out the way first, which is Rocket's saddle. Here we go. Now, first question, what saddle soap do you use? Okay, so this is the one I use. It is called Horseman's One Step Cream. It is a leather cleaner and conditioner. It's like a 2-in-1 kind of thing, so it's very good if you want to do a quick like clean over and anything. I think it says, yeah, deep condition. So I highly recommend this if you don't want to spend hours tack cleaning, because it's very good to give a quick wipe over, as it does 2 jobs in 1. Okay, so all of you did ask a lot of questions, so look at all them. We are going to be here for a little while. I'll go through as many as I can and I'll see if there's any new ones that I can answer that I haven't been asked before. But I will cover some that I have answered before because I do have new followers. Let's get started with, when did you start riding? So I was born into riding horses. So my mum has had horses since she was 9 years old, and I started riding horses when I was 2. I even have a photo of me sitting on a pony when I was like 2 years old, 2.5 years old. And I used to go down the stables with mum like ever since I was a baby, and apparently I loved it. So luckily it stuck, because I wouldn't actually be where I am today if I hadn't, so thank God for that. Okay, next question. Ooh. When did you get both ponies? Okay, so we got Rocket 17 years ago when he was a yearling colt. My mum got him in the Welsh sales in Bilf Wells, I think, and so we've had him for a really long time. My mum broke him in and backed him herself, and then did all the schooling side, and then I did all the mounted games training with him for him to be the pony he is today. And Straubs I only got a year ago, and I'll probably be keeping her forever. She's literally won my heart over. So we haven't had her that long, but she's coming on leaps and bounds. Okay, next question. When did you start doing mounted games? Okay, so I started doing mounted games when I joined Pony Club, and it was the first thing I ever did at Pony Club. So I started going to mounted games training when I was 7, and from that day onward I never missed a single training unless it was cancelled due to bad weather. I literally just absolutely loved it. And if you want any tips on how to start getting into mounted games, I would highly recommend Pony Club, because they offer, a lot of pony clubs offer mounted games trainings where you can just go there, have fun, and see if you like it or enjoy it. Because with MGA they don't necessarily put trainings on for people to try it. MGA do offer temporary memberships to see if you enjoy doing MGA, but that only requires you to go to a competition to do that. So I would highly recommend maybe Pony Club first. Would you have given up on Strawberry if she had been worse when you got her? Well, Strawberry was actually really, really bad when we got her, so if she was any worse, then I would be surprised if there was a pony that was any worse. But it depends really, because I bought her to do mounted games. So what I found was when I got her is that she actually enjoyed doing mounted games more than her schooling. So I couldn't canter her around the arena at all. She would just motorbike and just absolutely fling her head around. She'd fling herself about. But if I set 2 barrels up and I acted as if I was doing mounted games turns around them, she would canter absolutely fine. So in a way I found my little loophole. And but I don't necessarily give up on a pony unless I know they're not gonna perform for what I've bought them for. So if Strawberry didn't take to Mounted Games and just hated it, I would have had to have sold her on, only because like it's not what I wanted, if that makes sense. But I'd never give up on a pony if I knew there was potential there, which Strawberry does have. Will you ever get another horse? In the future, I would love to have another pony to train to run alongside Strawberry, because obviously Rocket's getting on a bit now. He won't be able to do opens forever, so he'll be doing younger age groups. But I can't then just have Strawberry on her own, because you know, if she goes lame, or you know, there's so many competitions in a year that sometimes it can be a bit much for one pony to do all in 1 year. I would like in future, when I can financially afford to, I will have a second one to run alongside Strawberry in the future. Why did you choose Straw? So it's quite funny. So my friend bought Strawberry off of someone from MGA because they didn't have time for her, and when I met her, she was just a lovely little pony. I wasn't really looking or thinking about this at the time, because my friend bought her to train up for games to sell her on, and it only became like later on in the year where I went to my friends to have a training and I rode her, and then I saw how absolutely sweet and her personality, and I just absolutely fell in love with her. So I spoke to my friend and just said, look, I want to get another pony to train up. Would you keep her for me when I'm like financially ready, because I didn't have a job at the time? And she said yes. And I literally just fell in love with her personality, how sweet she was. Like, she was almost just like the perfect little pony, I thought. Why did you get Strawberry? So I got Strawberry because I need to move on to a faster pony now for opens if I want to be able to achieve the goal I want to achieve, and that is to be on England teams and to start getting into semi-finals and finals in like pairs and individuals. So bless Rocket, he's absolutely fab and he's brilliant, holds his own, but for me to get any further in the rankings in this now, I do need a faster pony, and Rocket is also getting on a bit now, so I bought Strawberry for the purpose of training her to be my new main pony. Will you ever sell Rocket and Strawberry? Never. Those ponies have a special place in my heart. Rocket I've had for my whole life. We've grown up together. I am not willing to let him go to anyone else. It would break my heart to sell him, so I could never bring myself to do it, and they've both got forever homes with me. Strawberry's not going anywhere at all, so no, I would never sell any of my ponies. Have you ever jumped before? Now, obviously I started TikTok when I was solely just a Mounted Games rider, so no one will actually know that I actually used to compete in all pony club disciplines at areas, doing show jumping, eventing and dressage. So I've actually done a variety of different disciplines. It's just that I had my fun doing all of that and I just lost interest in those disciplines, so that's when I decided to take on Mounted Games as a whole. So yeah, I've done a lot of jumping before, dressage and eventing. How old were you when you started riding? I think I covered this. Yeah, I was 2 years old when I first did my first like walk round on a pony. Apparently my mum said I was doing my up, downs and trot by the time I was 3. So apparently I had quite a knack to it. So that's quite cute. I'll see if I can find the photos on my phone to put in the video, because they are kind of cute, to be fair. How did you decide to go into mounted games and not show jumping, etc.? Well, I realised at the fact that so when it came to Pony Club and there was a show jump competition and a mounted games competition on the same day, I always chose to go to the mounted games competition, as that was my first choice on what I wanted to do. So when I started making decisions like that, I decided that, you know, mounted games has got more of a passion in my heart, rather than anything else. This is my favourite question. Why a chestnut mare? Honestly, I don't know, because when I was thinking of having the new pony that I was deciding to get, I did not envision a chestnut mare. That was not my intention. So I don't know what was worse. Should I have got another grey or should I have got a chestnut mare? I don't know. I'm not thinking straight, obviously. Okay, saddle is now squeaky clean. Let's move that. Right, let's move on to some breastplates now. Which one have I got? This one. Okay, next question. If you had to pick a new name for each horse, what would it be? This one's a difficult one because obviously we bought Rocket as a foal and my brother named him Rocket, and I just don't think I could picture him with a different name. Like, I just look at him and say, yeah, he's Rocket. And the same with Strawberry. Like, I'm not a big fan on that changing names. Like, I just feel like, you know, they always suit the name they come with unless it's something like that you really don't think it suits. So I don't think I would change their names if I could, because I just feel like they suit their names, in my opinion. Something you would change about your ponies? Well, Strawberry, I would love her to stop having such a high head carriage. Hopefully we'll get her out of it, but if not, you know, it's not the end of the world, because it can be a bit annoying when she's constantly holding it up there, and it's like, you know, sometimes she hits me in the face because when she flings her head up. But she is starting to drop, so hopefully she'll get out of that habit soon. And Rocket he's only like, issue is that when he's waiting for his dinner, he'll start like wrecking the place, so he'll start like pouring and kicking buckets around, so maybe make him a bit more patient. But other than that, I just feel like their personalities just make them who they are, so I don't think I would fully change that, because it just makes them their own individual. How did you convince your parents to get your horse, and how old were you when you got your first horse? So I don't want this to come across in the wrong way, but my mum and dad went to go buy me a horse when I was only 2 years old. So that's when they came back with Rocket. My mum went to go and find maybe an 8-year-old pony that's been there, done that, but she decided to come home with a yearling colt. My mum's just wacky like that, but it's okay because Rocket's amazing now. So I was 2 when I got my first horse, and I actually didn't have to do any convincing. But you know, when we got Strawberry though, I had to, so mum said to me, if you're going to have Strawberry, you've got to be down every day to look after her, or even if you can't, make sure she's covered to get looked after. You know, you've got to pay a contribution, this and that. So as long as I stay hold to what I promised, it was all okay. So I don't want it to come across you know, unspoiled and that, because I'm really not. It was just the risk my mum took to buy me a pony at a young age, to get me into it. But luckily I took into it, and I've only ever had Rocket until we got Vinny 8 years ago. So yeah. Where do you get your riding clothes from? Well, it kind of depends wear. So, but my favourite brand to get stuff from is Aztec Diamond. I always have their leggings to wear when competing, either the black or navy, because they're really, really comfortable and really nice to wear in the saddle as well. Their base layers are really good for going around in the yard to keep you warm too. They're like my main brand that is my go-to brand as such. But it kind of varies. I'm trying to think what other equestrian clothes I also have. I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head. But if you want recommendations, Aztec Diamond, you know. I'm also now a brand ambassador for Club Equestrian. They also sell saddle pads, riding leggings and polo shirts. So if you want to go check them out, I'll leave their Instagram link in the description below. So be sure to check them out. When did you start MGA? Now, I haven't been doing MGA for that long. So I did my first season of MGA in 2017. So this year will be my 5th season, I think. Did 2 years, 1 to 17. This will be my 3rd year of, yeah, this will be my 5th season this year. So about 4 years I've been doing it. So not that long at all, to be honest. Where do you get your saddles from? So Rocket has a Whitaker Rio saddle, which is a jump saddle. They're really good for mounted games because they have low cantles. Strawberry has a Thorogood, but I'm looking to change that soon, once I have the money to get her a bit of a nicer saddle. My aim is to get something along the lines of maybe Saddle Company one, because they're really nice, or maybe Kent and Masters. We'll just have to see what one suits her best. We'll get the saddler out to look at her shape to decide what is the best saddle to suit her. Would you ever quit mounted games for another discipline, and if you did, why? To be honest, I don't think I would quit mounted games because it's like a big passion of mine. I've done like different disciplines here and there, and nothing's ever like struck to my heart like mounted games has, so I will probably not give it up. But even if I did, I probably want to try something along the lines of maybe like polo cross, because I like something with a bit of fast and furious to it, and something that's not like, well, not like, I don't know how to put it. I like doing stuff like are a bit more like fast and furious, so like stuff like mounted games, polo cross, polo I'd probably give a go. So yeah. What is your favourite race on each ponies? Well, on Rocket it is either Sock, Hoopla or Stepping Stones, because me and him are like really quick on the ground for Sock. You know, he's just like up there back like so quick. Same with Stepping Stones, we go across it really quick, and by the time I hit the last stepping stone he's already off at gallop ready for the vault. And Hoopla, you know, is easy to lean down and scoop off of him. But with Strawberry I haven't really like done those races to decide what is my favourite. When she goes for the vault, a vaulting race would be really fun because she just goes hell's blazing for the vault. But I reckon maybe Flag Flyers or Carton is going to be a good one on her, just then I can proper show her speed. So probably in the future they might be my favourite on her. What's the highest you have ever jumped? The highest I've ever jumped is on Vinny, and I did 1.5 m, and that was, I think, a cross country fence when I went cross country schooling on him. I don't know if I want to attempt that height again because that is scary. Should you oil your tack every time you clean it or not? as I clean mine once every 2 weeks. Well, it depends, I think, on the brand of tack as well, because my Shire's tack, so that's my one of my breastplates. I've got 2 bridles. They always say like to oil them, but I feel like that's just to loosen them up so it's not stiff. So I'd say don't have to every time if you're doing a quick wipe over, but when you're doing a thorough clean, I would definitely give your tack an oil over, because it keeps the tack from going really stiff. And if it's really stiff, I don't know, like on a noseband, on a flash strap, it can then start to rub the horse's skin. So I would highly recommend oiling when you do a thorough clean of your tack. Okay. What are your plans for the future? Can't remember if I've said this already, but my plan is to be able to get on the European or World's England team, or Home Internationals team as well. I would also love to place high up in the World Individuals or European Individuals, and same with World Pairs with Strawberry, as I feel like she has the potential to take me that far. So I'm going to keep working hard and work towards my goal if I can. What are your plans with Strawberry this year? Well, if everything goes ahead, my plan with her is to take her out to some friendlies, team friendly competitions, and I'll use Rocket all the main shows, as he's my main pony. I'll probably do World Individuals, World Pairs on Rocket as well, and I'll probably take Strawberry to British Pairs and British Individuals to get her out. That's if obviously all goes ahead after COVID, so fingers crossed, because I really need to get her some ring and competition experience this year, ready for her to like start taking over next year. Okay. Whose character is best out of all 3? Well, that's a difficult one, because each pony is very different in their own way. It's like Straub's is probably the most funniest pony I've ever come across, because she, I kid you not, she is an absolute weirdo. Like, she does things where you just wouldn't think she would do. It's like just stupid things, like, I don't know, the way she stands is the most stupid. The way she like turns her head at you, she's so affectionate and just absolutely funny as hell the way she looks at you. Rocket, he's just a grumpy old man, and that just makes me laugh because he's literally so tiny. But he has his cheeky moments as well, around the stable yard and when riding in the field. And then Vinny, he's just an absolute sweetheart, but he's just an absolute dope. Like, if he was human, he just, the lights are on but no one's home with Vinny. You know, he does try his best, but he's just not all there, bless his heart. What's your biggest pet peeve about the equestrian world? Now, I made a video about this on TikTok, on that trend, and I have a few. So the first one is ill-fitted tack. So when someone's saddle just doesn't fit properly, and and they can't see that, because an ill-fitted saddle can cause so much problems. I came across one pony which had a saddle on which was crushing its withers, and it was causing the pony to buck any time you lean down. And I was suggesting, this needs to be checked by the saddler. It doesn't fit, it's crushing its withers, needs a half pad on it. They did it once, and then you see him at the next time you see him, it's back to how they had it before, and you're just like, why don't you just listen? That's something that really gets on my nerves, when people try and tell you about your pony. So I've had a lot of that on TikTok. It's a pet peeve, because it's almost like, if you don't know the pony, you don't have a right to comment. Another thing is when people on TikTok are ripping the hell out of a beginner or a child riding, and you're just like, we all started somewhere, we were all like struggling to keep our heels down, we were all struggling to hold the reins correctly when we were younger, you know, just support each other. The only way they're going to improve is if you actually support them, you know. So that's another one. When people make assumptions about you and your pony when they don't even know you, because I've had that a lot and that really annoys me. Someone in my TikTok comments decided to assume that I was 5'8" just from watching a 15-second dance video of me. So it's things like that that just get on my nerves when they assume and make accusations at you, or people that scream that something's abuse when it's really not, you know. Like, abuse is full-on harm, not accident, not just falling off and holding on to the reins. That's not abuse, you know. It gets silly these days. I probably have more, but I can't think of any on the top of my head. That's about it for now. When did you decide that you wanted to do mounted games? So I made the decision to go on to do MGA in my last year of Pony Club in 2016, because I found that I didn't want to do anything else apart from games. Like, I just had the want to go on to do mounted games competitions, so that's when I fully decided that it was the only thing I wanted to do, and like, I didn't want to compete in anything else. And that was 5 years ago I decided that. How old are your ponies? So Rocket is currently 18, he'll be 19 in May. Strawberry is 12, and in April she will be 13. And then Vinny is currently 13 and in May will turn 14. What are your favourite Lemieux colours? Well, definitely the one I've got for Strawberry, which is mint. I also love Sorbet and the new Azure colour as well. It's just absolutely to die for. So they're probably my top 3 for Lemieux colours. What tack do you have? So on Rocket, I obviously have a bridle with a grackle noseband. I then have just a breastplate with no martingale, and a saddle. And then on Straubs, I have a flash noseband with a standing martingale attachment on a 3-point breastplate, and obviously her saddle. And when I compete mounted games, they all wear their sport boots to protect their legs. And Straubs also wears a vaulting strap because her mane is too thin to hold when we go for the vault in competition, as she goes like really quick, and I can't hold on to her mane or grip onto it very well. What's your favourite thing about each pony? Okay, we'll start off with Straubs. My favourite thing about her is how lovely and sweet she is on the ground, because we all know chestnut mares and mares in general do tend to have their temperamental and moody moments, but I've not once come across Strawberry being grumpy or moody at all with me. Her nature is just so sweet, and she's always like interested in what you're doing. Like, she's always looking at you and trying to find out what you're doing. She just pays so much like interest in you as a whole. Like, she's just such a sweet little pony. Vinny, he's also very affectionate, but I love how dopey he is. So he like that kind of pony that he'd have his door wide open but still manage to like knock his nose on the door. And those kind of things just make me laugh. And also Vinny's top lip is very like droopy and wobbly, so that makes me laugh as well. And Rocket, he's just cheeky. He's just an absolute cheeky little monkey, but because he's got such a cute face, he just gives you that look and he just gets away with it. You know, he does so much funny things and there's so many naughty things as well, but just because he's that little and that cute, you know, you just gotta love him for it. What do you feel like you and Strawberry have really improved on since you first got her? 100% her schooling. because when I first got her, I could not even trot round the school without her throwing herself about. And now, last weekend, I probably had the best schooling session I've ever had on her, where she dropped into my contact, very lovely, and she just proper took the trot in her stride. She was proper striding out and probably did the most beautiful trot I've ever seen. So definitely her schooling has improved, second to none since I got her. What would you choose, Rocket in Strawberry's height or Strawberry in Rocket's size? 100% Rocket in Strawberry's size, because if he was the same size as Strawberry, he'd be wicked. He'd be so fast, considering how fast he is at his height now. And I'd be able to ride him for a lot longer than what I can at the moment. So 100% a Rocket size, not Strawberry sized Rocket. Do you ever get hate, and how do you deal with it? I do. Putting myself out there on social media is basically an open door to getting hate, but the way to do it is to just either ignore what people are saying, or you reply with one-liner which will shut them up, or you like give them the facts and figures against what they said. So my biggest hate comment is, "You're too big for Rocket." So I literally just say I'm under 20% of his body weight, so there's no problem, and usually that gets people. But the way to do it is you really have to turn a blind eye and just think to yourself that you know in yourself that what you're doing is right, and don't listen to people like that, because a lot of the time people are just jealous of you if they're trying to bring you down. So that's why you just can't give into it. Only take advice from people who you know are either, I don't know, qualified or have a lot of experience and know what they're talking about, or know you personally. So the best way to deal with it is to just ignore it, I say. But when it's me on social media, sometimes to get people to learn that when they are so rude, they shouldn't be so rude, is you've got to kind of like give them that publicity for them to then realise what they said is wrong. Okay. Do you play any other sports? Currently I do not. I used to play football when I was younger. So I used to play for a team. I used to play in all sports back in school. I was on every school sports team. I used to do a bit of dance when I was younger, and I really want to get back into that after COVID is gone. So probably I will be taking up dance soon, I hope. As that's something I've like really started getting into and really enjoying. Biggest pet peeve when riding? I don't really have many pet peeves, but one thing that really gets on my nerves is when people claim to be a rider that they're not, if that makes sense. So, you know, when people, I don't know, people are only jumping 50 centimetres and they decide to be like, oh yeah, I jump courses of metre 10, just to like try and impress people. Like, I feel like that's wrong. Like, you should embrace what you're doing and be truthful, because in the long run you're only going to make a fool out of yourself if people then say, oh yeah, let's enter this metre 10 class, and then you're there like, oh, I can't do that. So people who claim to be riders that they're not is probably my biggest riding pet peeve. My favourite mounted games race, that 100% has to be Hoopla, because I like the fact that you can either stay on the pony and grab the quoit, or you can either get on and vault, and as well it's actually still quite a fast race too, so that's 100% my favourite race. Which has been your favourite competition and why? Well, it depends, because the favourite one I've gone to just watch and not compete at was World Teams. That was just the most fantastic week. You know, I got to watch Rocket be in the USA team. I got to hang out with my friends and go to the gala night and everything. So that was by far the best to go and watch. But to compete in, I reckon it was the competition over in America. That was probably the best competition I've ever got to experience, and I really hope I can experience it again soon, because I miss it so much. I was meant to fly back there last year, but was unable to because of the COVID situation, which was really sad. What's your worst fall and what happened? So my worst fall was when I started seeing if I could train Vinny to do mounted games, and I took him to a competition. He didn't do anything wrong at all. Went to vault him and he just went so fast. I didn't get my leg round for the vault. I came back down and I landed flat on my back and whacked my head. I ended up having to go to hospital in a stretcher with a neck brace on in the ambulance to have x-rays, MRI scans on my head, but I ended up coming out with nothing broken, luckily, because I was at risk of a broken ribs. I came out with a pneumothorax on my lung, which is a little pocket of air from when you get winded and your lung doesn't inflate properly. If it was any bigger, I could have had a collapsed lung, so I was really, really lucky with that fall, but that's by far the worst I have experienced. If I can find, I do have it on video. If I can find it, I'll put it in the video. If not, maybe I'll post it on TikTok one day as a fail, because when I look back at it, it's quite funny. Are any of your family horsey? Only me and my mum are horsey. My dad and my brother, they're all more into their football, so it's just me and my mum who are the horsey ones in the family. My granddad did like the horses as well, but he sadly is not with us anymore. God bless his soul. So yeah, just me and my mum. Most embarrassing mounted games moment. Okay, so I have a wicked one. So it was back in 2019. It was the first session, like first day, first session, and I was doing high-low, and I missed the net for the ball, but with the force my arm swung down at, I swung forward and rocket shot that way, so I literally just fell off from the side door. So I then had to get back on him and then do it again. But then as I was coming down to change over into my friend, we were just laughing our heads off. And then in the second session, I then was doing pony pairs, and suddenly my friend's pony shot forward, rocket pulled back, and I literally just got pulled straight out the front door of my pony. So I fell off twice in one day at a mounted games competition. Everyone was watching. I even got noticed by one of my friends in another team who mentioned it to my friend. She was like, "Is Leah okay? She's fallen off twice today." So that was pretty embarrassing. What are you known for? I would definitely say dancing with my ponies, who literally have no enthusiasm whatsoever in the video. They literally just look fed up with me. So I think that's probably my claim to fame. Okay, so I've finished cleaning all my tack, and the last question is going to be this. What pony did you start doing games on? So initially it was Rocket on the lead rein, but he was really, really scared of everything when we first started. So my mum took him away, and I just ended up borrowing loads of different ponies at Pony Club. But the first pony I properly rode for ages was a pony called Ivor. He was a little blue roan pony, and he was the sweetest thing ever, and I miss him so much. He was so wicked. And then I eventually brought Rocket back to games a few years later, and we've never looked back since. So that's the end of the video. My tack is now all clean and ready to use at the weekend. Thank you so much for everyone who gave me questions on my Instagram. Really appreciated. I'm sorry I couldn't get through all of them. There were so many. But I thank you all so much for letting me create this video for you. So like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and leave me any video ideas in the comment section. You know, any ideas are much appreciated. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.
Yeah, like the attention, girl, I know you, but you're everything I want in life. We're fighting danger like